After attending Thursday night's board meeting where I had typed questions in English and Spanish, and despite the board attorney, Mr. Zittimer, saying, well, give him the answers, and no one could, I did a little more research. And what I've seen is a few things. First of all, on an OPA request, I got something called proposed legislative changes. This is what they were talking about on and on the board attorney. They're going to somehow get Trenton to change legislation about busing. This has been something going on for at least 3 to 12 years. It should be changed, but let's not bank on that. Then I actually reviewed through an OPA request I made of the township an email between Mr. Azara and Mr. Lichtenstein, copied to Commissioner Hesby and other people in the state. And it's almost amazing if it wasn't in writing. It's almost not believable if it wasn't in writing. Mr. Azara tells the township committee that he never needed, and nor did the district need, the $6.2 million he asked for in the referendum. Now, I checked, I went on the scoop, I saw that was the referendum. Everyone knows that was the question. And he says right here, on February 11th at 11:47 a.m., Thursday, he says, for a number of strategic and legal reasons, we felt raising the full $6.2 million would be in the best interest of the district. But yet he acknowledges they only need $2.5 million in the same email. Now, again, I'm not here to fight with Mr. Azara, because I kind of like him. But the fact is, just like in the Tobiah case and many others, someone is giving him wrong information. Because how do you go out to the voter? How do you affirm for a referendum to be printed and to go through the Ocean County Board of Elections? You have to affirm the monies you're asking for are legitimate. This email shows something is strange in Lakewood, in Trenton, in New Jersey. How could you ask for $6.2 million and you really only need $2.5? And I have to give credit to the Township Committee. Mr. Lichtenstein, who is spearheading this whole thing, his dedication to this fight has saved taxpayers. Because now there is a quote-unquote deal on the table. We no longer need 6.2. Yes, we just asked for that in January. No, we didn't win the lottery. But because of Mr. Lichtenstein and the Township Committee's valiant efforts to get to the bottom, the state is now saying, Mr. Azara, who said publicly, who said in a referendum he needs 6.2, he only needs 2.5. Now, 2.5 is still 2.5. Let's not forget, we already have the $1 million the township committed. So it's an additional 1.5. We would have never known this, but for apparently threatened litigation. As Mr. Azara says himself, are you speaking with Inzelbuch? Now, again, I'm not sure Inzelbuch here, Inzelbuch there. The fact is, the taxpayers, whether you be a senior citizen, Orthodox, African American, Latino, whoever you are, you were all almost duped. If you would have voted for the 6.5, we don't need it. We only need 2.5. How do you explain that? You can't. And I then went and looked, got it through an OPA request, the auditor report as of June 30th, 2015. Now, at the meeting, that auditor, nice guy, I guess, reads off a script, then he leaves, so he can't answer any questions. That was almost amazing. And everyone else couldn't ask any questions. And then the superintendent, who I know it's not popular, but I got along with, she's sitting in the background. She doesn't get to talk about it. She asks Gus to answer questions. He doesn't have a computer to answer questions, not allowed on his own computer. And no one has questions. Or no one has answers. I had questions. And I'm looking at the audit report, and it doesn't match what Mr. Azara is writing here. Mr. Azara is writing in these series of emails, at least it doesn't appear to. Again, I'm just a Lakewood High School graduate, so I may not read or write well, and I may not do math well. I probably don't do math well. But now he's saying this money we need, not the 2.5, not the 6.2, but there's $8 or $9 million that have been ongoing transportation debt for several years. I don't understand how that could be. How could they be carrying 8 or 9 million in debt and let no one know about it? I saw the board president, I saw Mr. Zlatkin. They all are saying, correctly so, they didn't know about this and the board attorney until December. Well, Mr. Azara knew about it for several years. The auditor, I'm not sure what he knew. But something is strange. And then I went and looked at Mr. Azara's contract, which I got through Oprah. Mr. Azara, it says, is appointed by the commissioner, the Department of Ed, and one of his duties on page 2, paragraph B2, is to direct all business office activities, including but not limited to the preparation of monthly financial reports. Now let me get this. Gus and Tara being an administrator of busing, and this other person, Frank, all of them, Gus can't get onto his computer, but they put together these routes after the August C2 agreement. The way it works in every Board of Ed is you book them on the computer, and the computer line item tells you if you have money or not. Now, all of these contracts presumably were approved in September. And you only found out in December you didn't have enough money? Doesn't make sense. But what does make sense is that the commissioner in his contract with Mr. Azara, which, by the way, we pay for. We pay. It says that we can get rid of the state monitors. On page, unnumbered, but paragraph 5, termination. Removal for cause. In the event the state monitor shall commit an act or omission. I don't think Mr. Azara purposely did this. Again, he's a nice guy. He means well. Out in Pennsylvania, he's going to come decide how Lakewood, New Jersey works. I got it. But the only thing I don't understand is, how did he and the state not know that we were short these millions, not just in busing, but in everything, if according to his emails of last week, which I might add, were only written because his first email to the committee on, let's see when this was Wednesday at 7:13 p.m., Wednesday, February 10th. He says, before I put anything in writing, Mr. Azara says, please indicate that any negotiations or discussions will be serious and in good faith. As you can see below, Inzelbuch, by the way, my first name is Michael. As you can see below, Inzelbuch, on behalf of bus companies, has already made demands and legal threats to the superintendent, and already mentioned discussions that occurred at our meeting this afternoon. Now, Mr. Lichtenstein didn't tell me anything about that meeting. People from the state told me about what happened at that meeting, because they sat there and watched the commissioner, referred to in other emails as Dave. He'll remember that. The Special Children's Center. He'll remember the emails between him and Helen Tobiah that were produced, or he was copied on. Something is wrong here. What I suggest, wrap this deal up. Now 2.5, you already committed 1. 1.5 is nothing to sneeze at. But I have one more point for you. As the attorney for 4 of the vendors who transport more than 85% of the public and non-public school children, my strong advice to them is, and will continue to be, unless something I don't know comes up, do not go and rebid. You know, all those new bids they just put out, changing routes, but they're really not changed, but they are changed. Don't do it. Forget about the tiering problem we spoke about last time. How can you trust the Board of Ed if they give you a contract, put something in writing, that they won't change it again? That's what they're doing now. So the answer is, there's no magic. From now through June 30th, keep the busing the way it was. Find the $2.5 million. The township already committed $1 million to their credit. $1.5 million ain't a little, but it's going to go a long way.